up, gamers and gearheads? Welcome back for episode 20 of the Coalition Report. In this Coalition Report, we're going to continue our discussions about Judgment and my experience playtesting. Now, I give these videos to Epic to approve before I put them up, just in case I say something that you guys aren't supposed to know about yet. Even though I want to tell you so much, so bad, I still can't do it yet. You guys still have to be surprised by some of the news. So I can't give you guys the whole Happy Meal yet. I can only give you the nuggets. Aww. No fries and no drink, definitely no toy yet. Just the nuggets. What kind of sauce would you like with that? Oh, and if you guys missed it, I did kind of a supplemental kind of episode, I guess. It's episode 19.5 last week with the announcements of all the new goodies that are coming out on Gears. So if you guys missed it, make sure you catch up on what the crap's going down. So let's kick it off with kind of an overview about Judgment and my experience playing it. Now, this game is Gears, but it's not. It's really hard to explain, and that's what I tell people when they ask me how Judgment was. It's Gears, but it's not. There's familiar aspects like the characters, some of the weaponry, some movement styles, and things like that. It's still Gears. Cool with Judgment to me is that it allows the players to play how they want to with the weaponry. Kind of like we got introduced to Gears of War 3. There's girl characters and guy characters in this one. You kind of have your own individual style, and it allows you to be how you want to be. Now, as we have talked about many times before, the maps are quite different. There is a lot of verticality in the maps, different levels of the maps, different levels of the levels, I guess you could say, different levels of the maps. And there's cool, as you guys have seen in the videos, there's cool ways to interact with the maps now. Like on Library, you see the little, you pull the book out and you go up the steps. And then on Gondola, there's of course the gondola that goes up top. There's also little things in the maps hidden with even the overrun modes and stuff like that. Also with these new little hidden spots, ways to get around your enemies, whether you're coming from above, behind, beside, wherever, from the loca ba. That's my Boston accent, I suck. But it allows for new combative scenarios. It's not just, of course there's going to be high traffic scenarios where there's lots of combat and stuff like that, but the different levels and the way that you can use it to your advantage is a different way we're going to see combat in Gears of War Judgment. Now, what's also going to be cool about this game is that it is going to be an even playing field to start on. So whether you're a new player or an old player, everyone's going to start out even. Now, to me, and you other franchise players may kind of argue with me on this, but to me, Gears of War is probably the hardest game to pick up as far as strategy-wise and learning things. I mean, I try to learn new things, and I'm still learning new things every day in Gears 3 and involving, you know, my playstyle and things like that. And Gears of War Judgment is no different, so I think everyone's going to have a clean slate starting with this. Yes, people will have a leg up in the fact that they know what some of the weapons can do, like the Lancer, what it can do. They're familiar with some of the characters and a little bit of the movement, but that has changed a little. So everyone's starting with a clean slate here. Okay, so I kind of divided this report up a little bit. Hopefully it won't be too long of a video, but we're going to jump in. That was kind of the overview. Now we're going to jump in to movement in Gears of War Judgment. Now, some of this may be already known to some of you guys who did play the game some at any of the Comic-Cons or at PAX. So this may be nothing new to you, but for those that didn't get to play, here's your little nugget of information. Quinn mentioned that on some of the weapons, the degree of lethality has changed. So wall bouncing is still there, you're still able to do it, but it's not as prevalent as it was, say, in Gears 1 or in Gears 3 now. Something we're all going to have to adapt to if you're a veteran Gears player is the melee. The melee is new. It's no longer this slow motion, hey, what's going on? There's my elbow, I hit you in the face. Melee now is kind of like, hey, pull my finger, just kidding. It's really quick and really fast. Now, there's still that pause or that delay before you can have any sort of action, whether it's shooting or meleeing for a second time. So there's still that delay. It's not like punch, punch, and then that's it. There's still that little pause, that little delay before your next action can be taken. So what does that mean? That means running up on an enemy, you're going to have to think about it. If you're running gunner, you're going to have to think about it a little bit. Yes, the melee is acceptable. Also with the Lancer, you don't rev up your chainsaw. If they're close enough, you can melee them. So for those that are going straight on face to face into battle, say you got a Nasher, you're going to have to watch out a little bit because that melee is pretty lethal. What does this also mean? Two-piecing is back, baby! Now, for those that remember, two-piecing was a staple in Gears of War 1. Really bad. Face-to-face battles, really close combat, there was always two-piecing. And if you remember in Gears 1, it was melee, count to 1, 1,000, then shoot. Gears 2, it was still kind of there. Gears 3, not so much. I've actually pulled it off a few times, but it's a little more dangerous to pull off now. But to me, it wasn't as bad in Gears 1 once I kind of figured out I could do it. I tried to take advantage of it. But I don't think it will be as bad as it was in Gears 1. Now, as far as movement, also, there seems to be less what I call booty glue, BGS, booty glue syndrome, where you kind of stick to objects within the map. That really makes me angry and makes me not move as smoothly as I would like to. I said move. That's smooth and move put together, move. But it makes me not move as smoothly as I would like to. But in Gears of War Judgment, that seems to be all cleared up. Once you want to move off a barrier or off a sandbag or a wall, anything like that, you don't stick to it, don't have that little suction as much as you, that's the sound of suction. You don't have as much suction as you do at Gears 3. A lot more smooth movement and easier transitions, I guess you could say, from being prone to running. And for right now, the mantle seems to be pretty much on point. Yes, as you've seen in that video, I believe it was Cole mantling Sophia. But she was still within kicky range. Think, if you're going to mantle over something, you don't have to be just on cover to kick them in the face. You know, they can be standing pretty close to the cover. Also, blind firing, I did that a few times, and I've never really had a problem with that, but blind firing is great as well. So let's talk about weaponry. We've got some new weapons. As you've seen, there's the breach shot, and those question mark weapons I can't wait to tell you guys about on the new Gears of War art. Let's talk about the breach shot for a second. It is kind of a more lethal long shot, I guess you would say. It's a one shot, headshot, and then 2 shots to the body, and then you're done. I say it's more lethal because it's got that bolt action to it with multiple bullets rather than what you see with a long shot now. You know, it's kind of the shoot, reload, shoot, reload. And since it also has that bolt action, it's really lethal close up once you get pretty good with it. Now, I've had questions about the retro and the sawed-off. And as you can see in the videos that they've put out, guys, there is still a retro and a sawed-off. So just to clear that up. Now, without stopping power, I don't think the new Lancer will be as a prevalent use weapon as it is now in Gears of War 3 because we use it mostly for stopping power. So I think there's going to be more of a variety to be used in Gears of War Judgment. And speaking of the Lancer, going back a little bit, there is no more suction to the freaking chainsaw, thank God! You don't feel as helpless as you do in Gears 3 right now, where you shoot them and they're still running at you Rambo style. It's like a honey badger with a chainsaw. They just don't care, they keep running at you and it just kind of sucks you in, and they get the kill off that. But there's none of that. They have to be pretty close in order to chainsaw. Now also, as you have seen on some of these videos, there are crosshairs that are on the screen depending on your weapon. There's different crosshairs for different weapons. They are on your screen the whole time. But don't worry, these aren't going to get in your way. After just a little bit, I couldn't even freaking notice it. And speaking of weaponry, you change weapons a whole lot quicker using the Y button than we do with our D-pad. And plus, I won't be wielding a smoke when I'm meant to have my other gun out and you throw a smoke in somebody's face and you meant to shoot them and they basically just laugh at you and shoot you right in the forehead. Next week, I'm going to be talking a little bit more. I didn't, as you guys noticed, mention anything about the variety of grenades that we're going to have. I'm going to be doing, on the Coalition Report episode 21, I'm going to be talking more in depth about the variety of nades and kind of what they can do. But let's give away this autograph brought to you by Project Triforce. This autograph from Carlos Ferro, Voice of Dom. Let's go ahead and see who the winner is. Thank you guys for joining me, and until the cog turns again, we'll have some more news for you next week. Yeah.